Om. This is a part 2 to the Secret of Prayer to Manifest video. So I want to share some concepts with you. This is a understanding that I've come to understand and experience recently. In this video particularly, I'm going to be focusing on the identification part of the prayer. And I'm going to define prayer and all that again and recap. But let me first start off with this quote. Anything you can ask in prayer and believe, you shall receive. If your prayer doesn't change you, it's not going to change anything else. So let's break that down, because these are great quotes that I will put a link in the description of this video for the Instagram video of this guy who's talking about this, of what I'm going to be talking about in this video. What is prayer? Prayer is magnetized knowingness. It is the emotionalizing of a thought. Thought is the man, the emotion is the woman, and together they create memory. So manifestation is building memory in advance. Manifestation is re-identification, specifically. How do you move the memory from identity? Because what I've been observing and experienced in my own life and come to understand is you can plant memories using the electromagnetic thinking, which is electric thought, magnetic emotion. But without the perspective of belief, that thought will remain as an observable memory, but not your memory. So let me go over some notes here that I have talking about belief. So belief is the identification with that memory as you. Without belief, it's just an observable memory. With belief, it becomes your memory. So let's give an analogy or example of this. You know, when you go to the movies, let's take Spider-Man. You go to the movies, you're watching Spider-Man in the theater. You got the big loudspeakers on. You're watching the thing and you're feeling the emotions of Spider-Man as he's going through this hero's journey of crashing, burning, going to the bottom of his rock bottom, and then he's coming back up and he's achieving, and then he wins at the end. He beats the bad guys. You're going through this emotional experience of a knowingness of watching this knowledge of Spider-Man and happening in real time. But then you leave the theater, and then you go back to yourself as who you were. You start thinking like yourself. You feeling like your other self, like this. But if you go to the theater like you're a kid, look at the kids. They go to the theater, they watch Spider-Man, they come home, what are they doing? They're shooting spider webs from their wrists, they're beating up bad guys, they're jumping around like they're on buildings, but they're doing this all in their imagination. But what is happening is they're believing that they are Spider-Man now. It's going from an observable information, the movie, to them believing in it. So now when they leave the theater, they don't go back to the normal self, they start thinking and acting and feeling like they're Spider-Man. And it's like this. This is what belief is, like this, a mechanism. Belief, faith, these are all kind of the same things. And all these words, belief, faith, and prayer, are just vernacular that is used in the old world, used in a different time when a different collective mind was prominent. Now we're living in a different time where a different collective mind is prominent. We have different concepts and different ways of saying things. So we have different vernacular, different way of speaking and communicating, because words are symbols. We have different symbols now. So instead of saying prayer, because Christianity mentions, pray as if it's already done. This is the same thing as saying electromagnetic thinking, which is present tense knowingness with a magnetization of emotion. So when you magnetize a thought, it becomes a memory. Without the magnetization, it's a dead thought. It doesn't stick. There's nothing. It doesn't express. It doesn't collapse into an actual memory. Because when you have a thought and then you can experience that thought on the outside of something, say you think of a fancy car, but then you go and experience the fancy car, you get that emotion of being in the car, how it made you feel. That's what gives you the memory that it was real. Now, to get that memory out of you, you have to deconstruct. You have to believe and have the perspective that that memory is you. Now, let me sum all this up. With that context, let me explain this. If you forget everything else, listen to what I'm about to say. So I started off by saying, if your prayer doesn't change you, it's not going to change anything else. This is a quote from a gentleman that I'll put a link to in this video. Fantastic video. if your prayer doesn't change you, it's not going to change anything else. What is the definition of measurement of change in the context of manifestation? Change you. Who is you? Identity. Have to change your identity. So listen to what I'm about to say. To change yourself, the message is you have to get clearer. You have to bring the darkness into light. This is who I am. This is who I am not. Once you know who you are, believe in who you are, disbelieve in that which you are not. Said in the old world vernacular, be in a state of prayer and believe. Be in a state of magnetizing the memory that you want, or feeling, experiencing the memory, and knowing and having the perspective that that is real. So if you have the memory and you don't have the belief, it's just an observable memory. It's just observable information. Once you believe in the memory, it's now your memory. There's a big difference. So if prayer is planting, belief is harvesting. If prayer is what makes you pregnant, belief is what delivers the baby. Magnetize knowingness and hold the perspective that it is your truth. This is the main reason I wanted to make this video. I hope this makes sense. So when you're doing your meditation practices, when you're spending some time maybe doing a vision board, and you're immersing yourself in a present tense experience, a simulation, an imagination of you and your ideal. If you haven't figured that out yet, or you have to clarify, because without clear, there's fear. When your fear becomes clear, it is brought into light. It becomes a truth. So you have to make fear clear. Clarify, because fear is darkness. It's the unknown. It is a lack of information. It is the lie. Clear is clarifying. It is shedding light. It is bringing in the truth. And you have to find your truth first. There was a guy, and I'll post a link to this video as well in the description. Apparently he was testing frequencies, measuring people for years, and he was using a Faraday cage, which is something that you can use to block all electromagnetic signals. So anybody in the Faraday cage is not going to be bombarded, and therefore you're going to get the most accurate reading coming from them, because whatever in the cage is them. There's no other influences, right? What he was finding was, the conclusion of the study, was that even above the vibration of love and gratitude, the frequency, 400 times more powerful than love and gratitude is authenticity. Authenticity is your truth. That is living to your truth. And that's going to be different for you than it is for me, and vice versa. Well, we share a lot of things in common. But what I'm trying to say to you is, you have to find your truth. Then you have something to believe in. Then you have something to build memory around and then believe in. So once you find your ideal, assuming that it's not what you're currently experiencing, you have to start building memory with that ideal as if it's already real. That is, holding on to the knowingness and magnetizing it with the emotion of gratitude. Gratitude is reception. That is prayer. Magnetize knowingness. And while you're doing that, you are holding on to the perspective that that is your truth. You see how this all fits together now? Okay, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment underneath this video. As always, if you like this video, if you found it useful, please drop a like so it can pop up in other people's news feeds. And make sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification, as we'll be doing more videos like this, and also our monthly millionaire meetings on the 28th every month is so far what we'll be doing. We'll be doing one this month, September 28th, 2023. It'll be live on this channel, time to be announced, but once you have our notifications set, I'll be releasing videos as we get closer on the time and more about what we're going to be doing. Wishing you the best, happy manifesting. God bless.